So, welcome back to the Backyard Professor videos. So, the government has released their report on the UFOs. And it was more or less typical what we expected. There were a few things that were really interesting, but for the most part, it was truly more or less what we were expecting. I mean, there's no surprise that they didn't say it was alien craft. We knew they wouldn't say that. They can't say that. I like how they're trying to be cautious. I like how they're trying to at least give us something, a report. I think probably one of the most interesting parts of it was they said that of the 144 objects that they analyzed, they couldn't truly identify 143 of them. And that makes for some interesting thinking, doesn't it? So, we have this anomaly. It's very obvious an anomaly, and the government won't rule out that it's not an ancient civilization, an alien civilization either. And I think what this does for us is, I agree they need to be cautious. There's no question about that. They have mentioned some really serious anomalies, and again, the deflated weather balloon noise, there probably was one of those, for sure. But overall, the theme that there is something invading our airspace is somewhat spooky to the government, and you can't blame them. And of course, they're not going to speculate, yes, this is Russian, yes, it's Chinese, no, it's not ours. I mean, they are trying to have a credible report, and there has to be some scientific care with this. So it doesn't surprise me that it's disappointing. It does come across as being cautious, which is proper. It should be. The question what these are, we don't know. As Marco Rubio said, he's one that was probably very, very instrumental in getting this report to us declassified. It's a first step, and that's good. There always has to be a first step. The news for us is that we now recognize that the government has been involved in investigating this for over a decade, since 2004. So they've been taking it seriously. And of course, you always have this fight, this tension between the public and the government. The government's in a conspiracy to hide information, etc. Sometimes it's important for our national security that this does occur, and we probably ought to be fairly thankful for that. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where the government can actually come out and say, yes, this is an alien civilization. And once again, like I said in my previous UFO video, I'm really serious. I think the time has come for us to begin to separate the little green men from the UFO phenomenon. They're not little green men. Now, whether we have alien UFO craft or alien bodies or whatever, that is an entirely different subject that may or may not ever see the light. We just don't know. At this point, the idea that our airspace is being invaded by, and there was some admissions in some interviews with the news programs this last couple of days that yeah, we have anomalies with the way things move in the air, etc. We just don't know what they are. So this UFO thing is going to only expand. And I think that's correct. It should expand. They should bring in more experts onto this and be a little more open with it. So overall, we can say the UFO phenomenon is real, is that alien has been left out of the picture more or less. And I recognize that due to the nature of his public persona, Neil deGrasse Tyson has to debunk it, etc. The days of debunking are over. I think what we need to do is mature our thinking and figure out what this is. And I do believe this process has finally begun. So what is it? We don't know. We do know there's something there. So the public have not been deceived. There's something there. And I will keep updating this idea of the UFOs in videos as I learn information, because it is a fascinating topic. It really is a fascinating topic. Debunkers are going to be disappointed at this time. We can at least feel there's been a step forward in the right direction. I'll put it that way. And so this is good. It's going to be a slow process. There's no way this is going to go fast. I do think the government was very credible in saying there's not enough data. We don't have enough to go on just yet. Now that's based, of course, on the very limited amount of declassified material you and I have seen, for sure. But they have to be cautious. I understand that. That makes sense. And we do need a boatload more data. It would be really nice somehow if we could get a hold of one of those little tic-tac objects. That would be interesting to see. It would be nice if we can get better video. But we all have our phone cameras and our phone videos, so perhaps that is coming out. Perhaps they already have some of the best stuff and it hasn't been declassified. At this point, you and I as John Q. Public don't know either. Our data is not nearly as good as I would like it to be. Not yet. But we can now say we are willing to entertain the idea. So that's the great news. So stay tuned and I'll upgrade further as I gain more information.